Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be selecting the books I'm going to read in September. Now it's already September 1st, so I'm way behind on this video, but I'm really excited to see what books I'm gonna get into. If you've been watching a few of my videos, I've probably already talked about how sometimes I'm not the best in getting through my TBR. I select a bunch of books and I probably only read half of them because other books come up that I want to read, but I still enjoy having a small selection of books to pick from throughout the month. So let's get into it. I have my handy dandy TBR jar here, and it's color coded based on different genres, and it has prompts that fit certain genres in here. So the blue ones are fantasy and sci-fi, pink is romance and contemporary, green is thrillers and horrors, and then yellow is pretty much a free-for-all. This is my TBR shelf. I have this many books that I have not read that I physically own, and then I have also a bunch of audiobooks. If I have a prompt that doesn't fit any of my books that I actually own, I'll pick an audiobook, but mostly I think I want to keep my audiobook selections free, like to just pick whatever I want to listen on audio. Now let's just get into this because I am excited. I want to see what books I'm going to read. And I also have some catching up to do. My goal for this year is to read 100 books, and I'm about 2 books behind from last month. So I'm hoping I can catch up in September because I don't want to be like rushing towards the end of the year. All right, so my first prompt says read a book in a series. So books in a series. Obviously, I have 3 series up here that I haven't even started, so I have those as options. And there's Midnight Sun, Sega, Daughter of Smoke and Bone, Once Upon a Broken Heart. Oh, actually, wow, a lot of these books are actually in a series. Wow, okay, I have a lot of choices. I need to pick one. I'm going to go with my most recent purchase, which is the second book in the Sega graphic novel series. Now, I enjoyed the first couple volumes. I'm not too sure how I feel about it now. I still feel like this book has an interesting story, but it's a little bit too, like, I don't know what to say. It's like the humor is pretty dark, and there's a lot of like sexual content in this that I feel doesn't really advance the story. I think it's more just for shock factor, so I'm not sure if I'm enjoying that, but I'm still interested to see what happens to these characters. So basically, this child on the cover is a child of 2 opposing races who are at war with each other in this galaxy. So her parents end up falling in love, and they go on the run when the mother gets pregnant. So this basically follows their story of being on the run, being in hiding, and trying to raise their child. So this will be my first choice. So the next prompt, okay, so this one says supernatural or paranormal elements. Imaginary Friend, House of Leaves. I used to be really obsessed with Twilight. So when I saw that Midnight Sun came out, I was like, I might as well get it because I have the rest of the series. I do not think that Twilight has withstood the test of time, but I mean, even if I don't enjoy this book, at least it'll be good for laughs. So Midnight Sun is basically, in case you didn't know, it is the story of Twilight, the book, but instead of Bella's point of view, it's going to be from Edward's point of view. We'll see how interesting this one is. All right, so the next prompt says shuffle your Spotify playlist and pick a word from the title of the song, and I have to pick a book that has that word in its title. I'm just gonna shuffle my liked songs playlist because it's the most random. Wasted Times by The Weeknd. Now I'm gonna go with times because I feel like I'm more likely to find a book that has time or times in it, hopefully. Thank God I have a book of time in it. So this is Children of Time by Adrian Tchaikovsky. Hope I pronounced that right. So this book is about the last remnants of the human race who have left Earth and are living on the spaceship until they find this new world to live in, but the only catch is this new world already has another species living on it. So these 2 rival species must fight to the death in order to decide who gets to live, which species gets to live and thrive on this new planet. So this is a pretty thick sci-fi book that I got recommended by Murphy Napier. Hopefully I enjoy it. We shall see. In the interest of not overwhelming myself, I'm not gonna go with 10 books this time for my TBR. I think I might just go with 7. We shall see how it goes. It says author with the same initials as me. So my initials are KT. I don't think I'm going to find an author with KT. Let's see. Wow, I actually found one. So the book I found is Battle Royale by Kushin Takami. So this is, okay, so it's really giving the Hunger Games. So basically in Japan, 9th graders are selected and taken to this isolated island where they must fight to the death for reality television. Very much Hunger Games. I guess we'll see. It says this is a high-octane thriller about senseless youth violence in a dystopian world. It is one of Japan's best-selling and most controversial novels. I guess we'll see how it goes. I guess I got an audiobook here on my list. Let's pick another one. It says school setting. So I could either, I have like 3 options here. I could go with Dial L for Loser. There's Loveless by Alice Oseman. So I think this is about an asexual teen. So how she goes through school, navigating friends, love life, all of those things. What was that? Ninth House by Lee Bardugo, which is set on a college setting, so still a school setting, about this girl who is in charge of monitoring these secret cult societies at this Ivy League college. I've got Dial L for Loser by Lissy Harrison. So this is a middle grade young adult novel about this clique of rich popular girls and their adventures in middle school. Or lastly, I could go with Bloodlines by Rochelle Mead. So this is the spin-off series for the Vampire Academy series, and it follows Sydney, one of the side characters, as she is tasked with being the, not really the bodyguard, but like the protector of one of the girls from the first novel. I can't really get into too much without spoiling the Vampire Academy, but just know that it takes place in a school. So I've got these 4 options. I don't know which one I should go. I think I'm gonna go with Bloodlines. I've given this novel a try before and I wasn't really feeling it. But I still decided to keep the first 4 books in the series in case I decided to go back into it, because I actually really enjoyed the Vampire Academy and I really want to like this one, but unfortunately the first few pages that I did try, I didn't really like. But I'll give it another shot and hopefully it goes well. So I have 5 books selected so far. Let's go with 2 more. This says a book of difficult topics. I think I'm gonna go with The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. So I know this book follows 2 sisters who are of mixed race, and they're both white passing, but one of them, when they both grow up, one of them decides to stay in their Black community, living as a Black woman, while the other moves across town to try and escape her life. And while she's there, she secretly passes for white. She has a white husband, lives as if she is a white woman. Now, I don't really understand the difficult topics involved in this book, and I'm really interested to see, you know, what conversations there are to be had about this topic of colorism, being white passing, being of mixed race. I really don't know that much about it, and hopefully I can learn something while reading this book. It also seems like a very interesting one, and it's very different from the other books on my TBR, so I'm fairly certain I'm gonna get to that one. I've actually been hoping for a prompt that will help me select that one. So this one says read a memoir. Now I think I only have 1 memoir on my list right now. The only memoir I have right now is Hunger, a Memoir of My Body by Roxane Gay. I think the author has issues with food. She has an eating disorder, and this memoir basically talks about her struggles with food, weight, self-image, and learning how to feed your hunger while taking care of yourself. Definitely another book that's very different from the rest of the books on my TBR. One that I really might find interesting, because definitely something I might be able to relate to as far as putting my health first and self-image, my relationship with food. So definitely an interesting one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think that is it. I've got 5 physical books here on my TBR. I've got 2 audiobooks to get me started. So these are the books I'm going to be reading this month. Just a quick recap. So the first prompt I got was read a book in a series. So I'll be reading Sega Book 2 by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. This is a fantasy graphic novel following a couple who are on opposing sides of an intergalactic war, and they have a baby and are on the run and trying to raise their struggling little family. The next prompt I got was a supernatural or paranormal elements, and I chose Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer. So this is another book in the Twilight series. It basically retells Twilight, but from Edward Cullen's point of view. The next prompt I got was shuffle your Spotify playlist, pick a word from the song title, and pick a book with that word in the title. It's a bit long, but I got Wasted Times by The Weeknd, and so I ended up choosing Children of Time by Adrian Tchaikovsky. Now this book follows the remnants of the human race as they try to survive on another planet that is already inhabited by a different species. So the humans are fighting against the separate species for control of that planet. Now the next book, or the next prompt that I got, was author of the same initials as me, and my initials are KT, so I chose Battle Royale by Kushan Takami. So it's basically a Hunger Games style novel taking place in Japan, where 9th graders are selected to fight to the death on an isolated island for entertainment purposes. The next prompt that I got was a school setting, and I chose Bloodlines by Rochelle Mead, which is the first book in a spin-off series from The Vampire Academy, also by Rochelle Mead. And it follows one of the side characters as they are the protector of another of the characters from the first series. Can't really talk too much about it, but it does take place in a school. And then the next prompt that I chose was a book with difficult topics. I chose The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett, which is about 2 sisters who are of mixed race, and one continues to live in her struggling Black community. She chooses to raise her family where she grew up, while the other one moves across town to live life as a white woman, as she is white passing. Now it discusses different things including colorism, race, family ties, and the bond between sisters, I'm guessing. And finally, the last book the last prompt that I chose was read a memoir. And for this one, I picked Hunger by Roxane Gay, which is a memoir by the author about her struggles with her eating disorder, and talks about food, weight, body image. So that's it, guys. This and the 2 audiobooks are the 7 books I'm going to be listening to or reading in the month of September. I'm probably going to add more books to this, but this is a good start. I'm definitely excited to get started with them. Let me know if you guys have read any of these books, which ones you've enjoyed, which ones should I start with first or try and finish first, which one should I prioritize, basically. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.